There was 2 guys in their team that Rockets. That's crazy. Oh my god, 10 and 26? How does that even happen? What a fucking dick. Oh my god. You know, the other guy wants to go, go 8 and 14. It's like, okay. I'm not gonna get crazy about that one, but jeez. Oh, Jay, you wanna laugh? Guess the guys who won 26 and 3 on their team, guess how many times he killed unholy darkness? 14 fucking times. 14 of his... Yeah. Dude, 14 of his 26 kills was on that one dude. That is a nice one. It could be real. 14. Yeah. That's all he was doing. He was sitting in the back. Most of those rockets were in that man's face. Anybody else? Oh, nobody else is Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody's hurt. Somebody's hurt, Jack. I'm surprised his KDR is not worse. I mean, he has 366 kills and 331 deaths. The way he played, that shit should be fucking... Those deaths should be doubled. Oh, he only has 89 assists. I wonder why. Because he's always off by himself. He doesn't have a chance to get an assist beating other people. For real.
Yo guys, this is Jared, aka the Saint of Sins on Xbox Live, bringing you some Halo 4 war games on the map. Oh damn it. Well, if you didn't believe me about this being my favorite map before, this should secure it for you. We're back on Haven with some more Infinity Slayer. This time around, I'm rolling with my buddy Big Guy, aka Nick Manning69, aka Mr. Al Sharpton, aka Tom Hanks Sack. Okay, he's got one more nickname, but I saved that for when I'm buttering up his glutes. But I'm not saying a word about anything. We kind of made a mistake on this particular night rolling by ourselves. We've come to realize that most of the randoms we get paired up with are dickheads, as you saw from the intro. 10 and 26? Really? You have to try to be that bad. But this video isn't so much about the gameplay, which to me is a cardinal sin to commit, because if you're going to be a gaming commentator, then the gameplay should matter in your monologue. No, this is mostly just a channel update video to catch you guys up on all of my dealings within the past month or so. I know, the channel's been kind of dead as of late. The only thing I've been posting is the Donny basket series, and as fun as that is to create, it's very time consuming, unfortunately. Well, it's time consuming because I have a lot of other projects that also take up my time and sometimes take priority over everything else. One such project? If you've been living under a rock, or you just don't actually view the channel pages of directors, you might have missed this gem here. iPod King Carter's new background and banner design. This was something that Carter and I talked about, and let me tell you, he had a lot of ideas and great input on how this was to turn out. He's certainly been happy with it, and so far it's one of my favorite pieces that I've worked on in recent weeks. The background is fairly simple, but I think that's what makes it work so well, the less is more approach. That took some time, if only because there was some issue getting all of the material needed to finalize, but it was still a fairly light job to undertake. Be sure to take time out of your day to check out his channel if you're not already subscribed to him. And since we're still talking about my graphic design work, might as well plug some other guys while I'm here. Let's begin with fellow GameFace Studios member Stax Montana. This one I had an idea for the second he approached me with the request. He He spent 2 years playing his MyPlayer, Cameron Baker, on the Washington Wizards. It's the series he's becoming extremely well known for. So the color selection was simple and the design I felt had to represent what he's been doing for the Wizards. The main element I began working on was the New Era logo, as he emphasized that as being an important feature for the banner. Once I got that out of the way, it only made sense to tie in that logo with his own. A little Cinema 4D work went a long way in really pulling this all together, I feel. Be sure to check out his channel as well. He provides some really crazy NBA 2K13 content, and his Real Nigga Stories is sure to have you laughing, or leave you feeling really high. Keeping with that, let's quickly roll out some other works of mine you may not have seen. For Sub the Gamer, I rolled him out with this do-over background. I wasn't too happy with the first one I gave him as it reflected poorly on my abilities, so I had to replace his old with a new. After creating Carter and Stax' backgrounds, I wanted to keep to the trend of building around lighter skinned backgrounds, and that's when I got the idea for subs to be more based on light desaturated colors. Be sure to give him a visit and check out his MyCareer series featuring the Brown Mamba. Moving backwards a bit here, this is likely to be one many people might have been sleeping on. CoWorld9, a Madden commentator, reached out to me some time ago requesting my services long before Carter and Stax ever did, thanks in large part because of the work I did for Mr. Golden Sports. Fairly simple request, just give it a New Orleans Saints feel, with straightforward bare essential links to be made from the banner head. This one was more based on expanding on the original Sub the Gamer background I had made, focusing on the same techniques I used to create the asphalt texture. Be sure to give him a look over as well. I'm sure I'll have a lot more work to be done in the coming weeks. So far, I already have a request for a smaller channel that I'm in the beginning stages of developing. But there are some other things to highlight. Beginning, of course, with a look back at my GameFace Studios upload from a few weeks ago. My NBA 2K14 wishlist featuring Blacktop gameplay with Sub the Gamer and Mideast Beast. The focus of this video was more centered around my hopes of lengthening the creation process of my players by bringing back abilities from 2K12. Teaming those up with signature skills, and forcing everyone to take more time in building up their players to the level of a superstar. It's done fairly well both in terms of views and in discussion within the comment section, but just in case you missed it, here's your reminder to go and check it out. As a matter of fact, let's pull away from the Blacktop real briefly to take a look at what it is I'm wanting to highlight here. Let's start off with the game many agree is the inferior title of the franchise for the past 3 years, NBA 2K12. This here is the creation of St. Jarrett, a character I'm still on the fence about airing for a series over on my channel. While many people who built a point guard focused on either being an all-around playstyle because it gave the best stats to start and a higher overall, or they focused more on the 3-point specialist because it allowed for better shooting to start, I opted to go for the more challenging direction of the defensive build. But not all playstyles were created equal. Despite both the all-around and scoring playstyles for point guards providing the better overalls of 61, the points used for these builds don't actually add up to being the better builds. The strongest build with the most points placed into it at the start was the athletic. And while we're still talking about GameFace Studios, let me also remind any of you that have been watching and enjoying the Donny Basket series that episode 4, Donny Does Dallas, is also live over there. The fourth game of the NBA regular season sees the 0-3 Portland Trailblazers travel down to the 2011 NBA Champions home court in Dallas. After a miserable showing from Donny in Houston and a poor rebounding performance from the entire team, Donny and crew look to finally find some luck and turn the season around at the expense of the 1-2 Mavericks. If you're a fan of the NBA 2K13 Road to Springfield series, then you certainly don't want to miss this episode. It may be the one that leads to Dorisburg placing a restraining order on me.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Dorisburg for an update. Hi, Doris.
Thanks, Kevin. Goose, in their last matchup against the Rockets, made some nice plays. He had 6 points, and in addition to his scoring, he also came away with a season high for rebounds. A dominating performance from a player who might start making waves around the NBA. That is what the franchise hopes, at least, guys.
Thank you.
You know what? Fuck giving myself a headache over this team. Doris, you want the dick? You're getting the dick. Let me find out what hotel room you're bunking up in tonight, talking all that nice and smooth shit about Donny's play in Houston. What more do you need to hear and see before you go and subscribe to GameFace Studios? They live stream. There's a variety of content from a variety of commentators, so there's something for everyone. Just give it a chance. You're bound to like something there. Hell, if you like me, that should be more than enough reason to keep an eye on it. And speaking of me, yeah, there's a lot more stuff I've been doing outside of this channel. For starters, I've started up a weekly Google Hangout livestream with Moonlight Swami and Smalls99 called The Dugout. a weekly podcast-esque live stream show about baseball. Hey, you know me, I love me some baseball, and getting to talk about it weekly live on Moonlight Swami's channel along with the West Coast sports guru Smalls, can it get much better than that? Well, I've got a few ideas, but for right now, this is perfect. If you weren't aware of the podcast, we've already done 2 episodes. We go live, hopefully, every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Swami's channel. Be sure to subscribe to his channel to check that out each and every Saturday. Last week we didn't have Smalls on board. He had some issues with traffic and was detained from the entire length of the show, but he should be ready to roll this week, so if you're a fan of his, you should also check it out.
Okay, so Rafael Soriano for one, Michael Bourne for the other. Explain Michael Bourne, explain Soriano. Jared first.
For me, I know Soriano's a tremendous bullpen arm. I think his age is going to start to catch up to him eventually. But for the reason I go with Bourne is because he's still young. He still has tremendous speed. He's a great leadoff hitter. He fits pretty much any ball club that is in need of a leadoff hitter right now. And I think there's a lot of them that are still looking for that role. Provides tremendous defense and is a great balance from the left side of the plate.
Okay, and
Rafael, I mean, it's a good pitcher. You give him a 2-year deal. Solid pitching. It depends on the team that he'll go to. I mean, really, he'd be an addition to anybody. It's just a team who needs a good arm. I mean, can you imagine if Soriano goes to Cincinnati?
No. He wouldn't. After his anger with the Yankees for not being the closer when Mariano.
Right. So he needs to go somewhere where he can close.
He needs a closing job.
You've narrowed like everything. Everything's kind of half now. Where will he go? That's a contender that needs a closer.
Every West team on both sides.
He would close for the Dodgers.
He would close for the Dodgers. He could close for the Giants. Sergio
over Romo.
Yeah, I think.
I don't see that happening.
I think Romo earned the close.
I think he earned it. I don't think he could hold it a full season if Soriano was breathing down his.
Arizona, no, Heath Bell is in Arizona now, right?
Okay, he could take Arizona because Heath Bell is actually trash. On the other side, 2 teams in that entire league that are going to get absolutely destroyed. I think that's going to be the Twins and the Astros.
Yeah,
and if that's true, I could see the Twins getting 65 wins. I could see the Astros getting possibly 40. That's how bad in a hole they are with such little money spent and so little.
Money doesn't really mean a whole lot. Otherwise, the Yankees would have 37 wins, championships at this moment. The thing
27 at the moment, but I mean that's still.
Yeah, well, they've been spending money for like 7 years, and they've got 1 championship to show for all those years. But even still, I don't see how anyone can say that the Twins will be 65 game winners, and the Astros will be barely 40 game winners. Both teams are atrocious, and both teams have the same flaws.
Twins have some talent. They have Willingham, they have Morneau, they have Dozier. I mean, they have some.
All right, but here are the problems with that. Willingham, it can be shaky, and he's only coming off 1 solid season so far in his entire career. I mean, really solid.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But Morneau, he's going to be injury prone. He's always been injury prone. Mauer is possibly on the cusp of being injury prone.
I didn't want to mention him just because of that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if they have Domet this year or not. I think he was signed to a 2-year or 3-year deal. I can't remember.
I just think that they're in a better place, and they don't have to play the Angels and the A's and the Rangers as much. I think that'll kill them.
They just have to deal with the Tigers and the White Sox.
Yeah, but I think that's a little bit easier because
that's not easier.
Maybe not Tigers.
Especially when you have no pitching.
Yeah, maybe not Tigers, but
White Sox will kill you. Let's be real here. Offensively, the White Sox can kill you.
They can, but they might not, depending on how.
Well, if you want to word it like that, then the Royals might not suck. That should about catch you up to speed with everything that's been going on with me outside of the channel. A lot of graphic design work and contributions to other channels. Hold on just a second. Get swerved on, bitch! Would have been too easy to try and push him up by shooting the DMR at him. Nah, I had to go and get fancy on a motherfucker. But yeah, channel update. I'm still trying to pump out videos as quickly as I can while still balancing off all of the other things I've been caught up in doing. Trust me, I'm not neglecting this here. Video editing is still one of my passions. It's just difficult to get through these things because I'm not a confident speaker and I really don't enjoy the recording process of my audio. I've still got a lot planned to bring out. There's still going to be plenty more Donny baskets and his road to Springfield. I'm looking into what I can do for the baseball season as we speak. Perhaps I'll be getting my hands back on some MLB The Show, easily the best baseball game of this current generation of consoles. I've got a lot of other footage stocked up and ready to be worked on. It's all just a matter of execution of my vision. Easier said than done. Some ideas I'm still holding on to would be the NBA 2K12 MyCareer footage I've talked about in my NBA 2K14 wishlist video that I just highlighted. There's also the idea of going back to NBA 2K11 for that Michael Jordan Challenge series. I'm still sitting on so much Batman Arkham City and Assassin's Creed Revelations footage, plus I feel incomplete without NBA Jam on Fire Edition and NFL Blitz. Oh, and then there's NHL 13 and the games I played against Sin with Vengeance, which kind of brings up another point I wanted to touch on: community games. There's something I'm going to be placing a helping hand into. It's another community gaming channel here on YouTube started by smaller commentators for smaller commentators. There's a bunch of good guys involved in that project and are certainly worth checking out when you've got the time. In addition to planning to upload some content on their channel, I'm also looking into creating the branding for the channel to give it some depth and longevity moving forward. So despite the channel's inactivity, I'm actually being very busy on the YouTube front. So to recap, I'm doing a lot of graphic design work and have gotten plenty of requests. But please, don't think I do this pro bono, I do charge. I've been uploading a lot of content to GameFace Studios lately that I haven't highlighted or promoted here outside of having the video run on autoplay on the featured tab. Been in works with Swami and Smalls on the baseball discussion livestream, and I'm going to be working with community games in the future. So my play for 2013 is looking pretty full. Now all I've got to do is better manage my time and I should be gravy moving forward. After all, that's the problem with this entire process. It's very time consuming. But enough about that, let's get into some gameplay, shall we? Low on BR ammo, I bait someone towards me to try and gain back some ground to possibly push up towards my teammates. Don't underestimate the pistol in a player who refuses to pull the trigger on his shotgun. Boy, that should have ended up uglier for me. At least drop my shields. Fuck you doing with a shotgun and you don't want to pull the trigger? Here, I'll show you how it's done. Remember back when I said that sometimes I played too aggressively? No, of course not. Like any of you saw my previous Halo 4 gameplay videos posted. Anyway, I have a problem with my tempo. Before I played super timid. Now I'm pressing too hard at points because I feel I have to be involved in more gunfights. Sometimes this bites me in the ass because I'm too aggressive at pressing too hard. So far I'm getting a mixed bag of success here. Sometimes I go on tremendous runs, which I'm not used to, and other times I end up getting into scenarios where I'm fighting more than just one person. I think my pride gets in the way of judgment. Like earlier, I got into a fight with a red that dropped down from top ground with the DMR. I got the first shot, but he proceeded to drop back into the grenade covey, leaving only his head visible. Technically, I should have won that battle, but my BR's bullet spray meant I wasn't doing as much damage as I would have liked, and his single burst DMR kept him on point to knock me off. A smarter decision, and the decision my armchair quarterback ass is shouting, would have been to bail on the fight and let my teammate clean him up easily. Instead, I traded off a point with red to get that one kill. Well, technically it was an assist for me, but I digress! That's sloppy thinking more so than sloppy gunplay. But I guess when you're getting the results leading towards a dominant victory, you can't be too upset. Still, maybe I would have kept a big run going had I played with just a bit more brains. After all, we saw how I outsmarted that one player with the man cannon thruster move. We also saw how satisfying a kill that was. But so far, the only really smart move I've managed throughout this night of play was to try and stick close to my big guy. I can rely upon his shots and his decision making as well, plus it helps to win out more gun battles when you're stacking odds in your favor. It also helps to maneuver around and bait guys into really bad scenarios for themselves. Bitch, sit the fuck down! Who are you trying to run up on like you know what? Oh baby, yeah! Tommy gun action time. This dude ain't even gonna know what hit him. You sit the fuck down too! Yeah, you see? Yeah! But alas, the gameplay is done. A huge victory for Big Eye and I to end the night on, because one does not try and push their luck when you're rolling with half a chub and no helping hands with baby oil. That's sort of slang for we had no teammates. Kind of. Anyway, a big game for Big Eye who finished 19-3 with 7 assists. I, however, came closer to a double-double here with 15, 9, and 5. And guess what else? 9 headshots. Because bitch, all I get is head. Not a bad night in the office for Billy Zane. Oh, I didn't tell you this earlier, did I? My Spartan tag is now Zane for the great actor, the Phantom, Billy Zane. Well, that's all I've got for now. See you guys around. Peace.